Hey, it's Game Hydro. I got a request for how to beat the Greasy Man virus, which is by far the most overpowered one that I've experienced in the game so far. My current level is level 30, but honestly, it took a ton of grinding to pass level 22, and then after that, I was able to speed run levels 23 through 29 essentially without dying once. That's how overpowered Grease Man is. So, Grease Man normal recommended power is listed as 2200. That is complete BS. The recommended power I found in this game means absolutely nothing. I've been able, when I was at combat power of about, I don't know, 2500 to 3000, I was beating hard levels with recommended power of far higher than that, over 4000. Now I'm at combat power 5725, but when I beat this level for the first time, I believe I was around 44 to 4800. Nevertheless, these strategies are still something that can help you because honestly, you're probably you're going to have a hard time beating this level without watching ad videos until you hit about 6500 power. I would assume. So I'll take you through it. Here's the combat power. Mine though was about 44 to 4800 back then. Now it is 5725 for full disclosure. And equipped weapons. So I'll go over each weapon and their importance. Gout, not important at all. I was just experimenting with it earlier, but I don't use it for beating this dude. And in fact, I think it's kind of counterintuitive. So I am going to swap that back out. With the disinfectant bubble, kind of effective, but not super important to beat this guy. Sterile swab, extremely effective, very important to beat this guy, the Greasy Man. Small medical tower is very important to beat the Greasy Man. The continued damage over time, especially in a round level, is extraordinarily effective. Acupuncture is decently important to beating the Greasy Man, but not required, I would say. The spinning dagger is maybe the most important skill to beating the Greasy Man, or the second most important, because I personally played this level a million times with the spinning dagger, the acupuncture, and the small medical tower, and didn't beat it for the first time until I decided to add the sterile swab to the mix. So, by that token, you could say the sterile swab is potentially the most important, but spinning dagger, small medical tower, and sterile swab are the three most important. Hyperostosis, kind of useful, but not super important. If it's upgraded super high, then it's pretty effective. But by upgrading it super high, you're also taking away upgrades that could potentially be given to the swab and the dagger and the medical tower instead. Tadpole, it's good, especially at the beginning, but not super important. And all these other skills, let's see. So the Snot Dragon power could be kind of useful. The Magic Book could be kind of useful with a few upgrades. All these other ones, not useful at all, pretty much. Especially the defibrillator, which is terrible, and roulette, which is terrible, gout, which is terrible. Oddly enough, the more rare the skills are in this game, the worse they tend to be in a lot of cases. Massage stick, not very useful in round levels, etc. So, all right. All right, without further ado, let's see if we can beat the Greasy Man, and we will show you how. All right, so first of all, obviously, we're going to be upgrading the capsule a bit because it's silver chests. I like the quantity boosters more than most of these. All right, so gold chest, we're going to go sterile swab out of those ones, obviously. Magic book, not super useful. silver chest. We're going to try to get the silver chest. Now, the sterile swab can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to aim until you improve the size. But if you aim it properly, it do a ton of damage. Flaming swab. I like that one because the fireballs do a lot of damage. And it's just bonus damage on top of what you're already doing. So now, all right, we'll do that one. Another quantity boost. Now we got 4 shots at a time. Having issues aiming this cotton swab, but when it's aimed right, my gosh, is it effective. Out of these ones, we're going to go capsule quality again. Or quantity, excuse me. That especially helps in the early portions of this stage. Although in the later portions, you're not really, there's not really any importance placed on this. Okay, spinning daggers. We want spinning daggers. So you can see how much damage over time they do. And the speed and quantity of knives can be boosted so freaking much that it makes them just awesome. Now we're going to do a critical boost of the cotton swab to increase the critical chance. Increasing the critical chance, as you can see, gives you lots and lots of critical hits, lots and lots of damage over time. All right, so target the chest, and that's a pretty good penetrator deal. Three deep. So we're going with that one. Otherwise, we normally would have gone for the dagger damage boost. But this can help you soften up the back part of the virus. So that's why we went with the penetrator there. All right, what's next? Let's go damage boost on the cotton swab because it already does a ton of damage, so why not boost it? All right, we're aiming the cotton swab toward the front of the Greasy Man to try to prevent him. Oh, good. Smart medical towers. That's another one. That's the other one that is super important to this battle. And you can see why. It does a buttload of damage over time because the lasers hang around for a while and more of them just form. Still having a lot of trouble aiming this stupid cotton swab. But we're kind of off on a pretty decent start here. Now that we got the cotton swab aimed, it's even more effective. All right. Reloading there. Don't like any of these a ton, but the capsule split is not bad, so I'm going with that one. I was kind of hoping to get something related to the dagger there because I'm a little bit low on upgrades for that. Uh-oh, getting a little dangerous here. What are we picking? Size boost for sure for the daggers. The reason for that is because then you can hit all parts of the virus. You can kind of smack it in the back half, which you can't do when the daggers are smaller. All right, we're getting dicey here. I'm going to keep the swab aimed over here. Unfortunately, the swab wasn't able to save me there, so I'm going to hit revive, stop the video, and so you don't want to see the ad. All right, we are revived now through the magic of TV, and we're going through this again. Size boost, finally. That'll make aiming the cotton swab a hell of a lot easier. It won't keep shooting off into nowhere this way. So now we got big daggers and big cotton swabs. Ugh, okay. Anything else we might get from a gold chest here is basically gravy. Out of all of these, I'm going critical chance boost for the knives again. Now, we're making progress pretty damn quickly on the stage right now. I'm telling you, when I beat this stage for the first time, it was the cotton swab that made all the difference. The knives, I had the knives boosted as far up as you could get them, but it wasn't until I got the cotton swab equipped. The reason for that is because you can aim it wherever you want to, so you can use it to knock off the front half of the virus. Out of these, let's go acupuncture. That's probably the best one out of those three, although none of those three are necessarily bad. But the acupuncture needles, you see how they split. You can upgrade the quantities of shots, and they're very easy to aim. So once again, you can target the front half of the virus and keep the girl safe. Now, this is about the only stage I've seen where the virus targets somebody other than you. Critical boost, yep. Going with that now. Surprisingly, very quickly making it to the end of this stage. Didn't even have too many upgrades on the daggers, which that's a pretty good run for us. Damage boost to the cotton swabs. And I'm going to keep the cotton swab aimed over here because it can target the front part of the virus just behind the head, but also target a little bit behind it too. Going to camp it out over here. What do we want? Cooldown reduction for the medical tower. That just allows more lasers to appear at a time. Now, as you can see, we don't even have any real big upgrades here, but by the time you make it to this level, there's already a bunch of real big upgrades available. Obviously, we're going damage boost to the acupuncture. Close to the end. Almost there. There we go. That is how you beat that thing. Now, obviously, there is a lot of grinding needed to get to the power level required to beat this guy. I would say the real power level requirement is probably 4,400. So go back to hard and hell levels and beat them for the first time and claim the clearance chests. Also, go to the daily dungeons and play the coin pig dungeon. The gold pig dungeon. Grind for coins, for gold, however you can. Upgrade your character traits, and use the ad videos to get the free parts chests in order to max out the levels of specifically your cotton swab, your daggers, your medical tower, and to a lesser degree your acupuncture needle, because those are the most important ones. The other ones don't really matter a ton, but upgrade your capsule too, because those matter. All right, so that is how you beat the Greasy Man level stage 22. Any questions, leave a comment. You want to see us go over another level, we'll go over another level. And for now, this is Game Hydro. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.